Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Golden Blued, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. Y'all know this by now. If you've been watching Golden Blued for any length of time, you know that I love conference realignment. Even before Texas and Oklahoma announced that they were going to the SEC, I had actually made a few conference realignment videos before that based off of geography. Well, I decided to revisit that idea and kind of switch it up a little bit. So this will be geography based, but instead of 5 Power 5 conferences and 5 Group of 5 conferences, it's going to be 4 Power 4 conferences and 4 Group of 4 conferences. So some teams will be bumped up into the Power 4, and in my idea, the 4 Power conferences will have 20 members apiece. This could get very interesting, and of course with the Group of 4, we have a 14-member conference, another 14-member conference, another 14-member conference, and then a 12-member conference. First, we will start with the Group of 4. What would the Group of 4 look like in a perfect scenario in the eyes of Golden Blued? Well, I would eliminate Conference USA. They have to go. They're treading water anyways, so let's just split up their members and send them elsewhere. And I didn't keep these conferences intact. Some members went to other conferences. Remember, this is geography based, and I know this is never going to happen. This is not a prediction. I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. But for entertainment purposes, stick with me, guys. See what you think about this idea. So first, the Group of 4 conferences. The first conference is going to be the MAC. Now, this conference is going to be boring because it's going to be the same exact members. I tried to figure out if I could throw some members elsewhere. It just didn't make sense. So the MAC would remain Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Akron, Toledo, Kent State, Buffalo, Bowling Green State, Ball State, Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and Western Michigan. And in the Group of 4 conferences, the MAC would certainly be the weakest. Sorry, MAC, I just couldn't figure out what to do with your members. At least you're intact, right? The next conference is the Mountain West. Let me know what you think about the new look Mountain West based on geography. Here we go. Hawaii, Nevada, UNLV, San Jose State, New Mexico State, Colorado State, Utah State, Wyoming, New Mexico State, Tulsa, Rice, UTSA, North Texas, and UTEP. Notice you're missing a few members. Boise State, I bumped them up. Fresno State, I bumped them up. And San Diego State, I also bumped them up. On to the Sun Belt. What does the 14-member Sun Belt Conference look like? I think it looks pretty good. You have FAU, FIU, Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana, Tulane, Troy, South Alabama, UL Monroe, Southern Miss, Arkansas State, Texas State, and Jackson State. So I brought up Jackson State from the FCS. I think they would look great, and I think they would do great in the Sun Belt. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Sun Belt in this scenario. And finally, the AAC. I do think the AAC would be the strongest Group of 4 conference. Here we go. East Carolina, Appalachian State, Liberty, Old Dominion, UMass, Charlotte, Temple, Coastal Carolina, Marshall, Middle Tennessee, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Western Kentucky, and UAB. So basically, based on geography, the MAC kind of is the Midwest part of the United States. The Mountain West, of course, is the western part of the United States. The Sun Belt is the southern part of the United States. And the AAC is the eastern part of the United States. So there you go, the Group of 4 conferences split according to geography. So now that you know what the Group of 4 conferences will look like under the geography scenario, it kind of gives you an idea of what the Power 4 conferences could look like under a geography-based realignment. Now once again, let me restate this. This is for entertainment purposes only. It will never happen. I'm not looking into AAU status or Tier 1 research facilities, academics, any of that stuff. This is strictly based on geography. So let me know in the comment section what you think of the Power 4 conferences based on geography. Now, the one conference that I got rid of, because if you look at geography, the ACC makes the least amount of sense compared to everybody else. Because with the Pac-12, you could have the West. With the Big 12, you could have the Southwest. With the Big 10, you could have the Midwest and the Northeast. And then, of course, with the SEC, you could have the Southeast. The ACC just had to be split among some of those conferences. So first up, we'll start off on the West Coast with the Pac-12. And I think this Pac-12 looks really, really strong. I think Pac-12 members would love this conference. And teams that are remaining in the Pac-12 would definitely love this conference. Here we go, the Pac-12. USC and UCLA would stay in the Pac-12. Fresno State, San Diego State, Cal, Stanford. That's 6 teams out of the state of California in the Pac-12. Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, Washington State, Arizona, Arizona State, Boise State, Utah, BYU, Air Force, Colorado, Texas Tech, Baylor, and TCU. So yes, in this scenario, the Pac-12 did have to dip into the state of Texas. And I think this would be a tremendous conference. I know. It would never happen because of a million reasons. But doesn't it look great? Wouldn't that be a great Pac-12 conference? All right, on to the Big Ten. The Big Ten this is a big shakeup, guys. This one's going to surprise you. Based on geography, here's what the Big Ten would look like. You ready? Syracuse, Army, UConn, Boston College, Pitt, Penn State, West Virginia, Navy, Maryland, Rutgers, Virginia, Virginia Tech, James Madison. Yes, I bumped them up to a power conference. In fact, I think in real life, eventually, James Madison will be a Power 5 team. Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Kentucky, Louisville, Cincinnati, and Notre Dame. Now, there are some weaknesses in the Big Ten, but overall, in the big picture, this looks like a great conference, a lot of great teams. I think there would be a lot of parity in this conference. It would be a great football conference and a great basketball conference. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Big Ten based on geography. Next up, the Big 12. This one got really interesting. I had to pick some teams from the SEC, the Big Ten, and some of the remaining Big 12 teams. Here's what I came up with based on geography. Memphis, yes, I bumped Memphis up to Power 4 status. Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Purdue, Illinois, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Iowa, Iowa State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Houston, Texas A&M, Texas, and SMU. So basically, the Pac-12 got half of the state of Texas, and the Big 12 got the other half of the state of Texas. But I really love this conference. This is actually one of my favorite conferences whenever it comes to the geography realignment. A lot of great teams in there. A lot of interesting matchups that I would love to see in real life. So once again, let me know in the comments what you think about the Big 12 based on geography realignment. And finally, what does the SEC look like? Some of it remains the same, but some of it looks quite different. So here we go. Based on geography, here's what the SEC would look like. USF, aka South Florida. Yes, I bumped them up to power status. Florida, Florida State, Miami, UCF. See what I'm saying? The SEC has the entire state of Florida. Georgia, Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Clemson, Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, North Carolina, NC State, Wake Forest, and Duke. So the SEC would have the entire state of Virginia, the entire state of North Carolina in this scenario, and a lot of the teams that they already have in the current SEC. So great rivalries would remain intact, and great rivalries that are out of conference games would actually become in conference games. I'm talking about Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Florida, Miami, Florida, Florida State. I really love the SEC in the geography-based realignment. But you let me know in the comment section what you think about the SEC in the geography realignment. So there you go, folks. Once again, this will never happen. It's not a prediction. This is just a revisement of a video that I did earlier, basically when I first started this channel. I think in that video, I still had 5 Power 5 conferences and 5 Group of 5 conferences. With this one, I got rid of 1 Power 5 conference and 1 Group of 5 conference. So this is a different scenario than that particular video. So y'all let me know in the comment section what you think about this particular geography realignment. Keep in mind, I'm not predicting this to happen. It will never happen. That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.